Our last entry on Pirates 2 Armada took us in a distinctively upward direction on tone and positivity. Magic of the Night, a very inspirational number. A bit of, as I said, to qualify it best, like a pseudo-pause number in a way, where I don't see that path necessarily continuing, because Underwater, to me, stresses something different. A much more ominous picture, because I think of like underwater and that type of imagery, especially employed to the pirate's vision, I see somebody drowning or in emotional distress, maybe. I don't know. Again, I'm just posing some potential paths for this song to embody, notably on thematic presence. Score-wise, though, I mean, well, I could say as well the compliment. Score-wise, I see a more challenged drift, perhaps on key, pacing, harshness of voice, we'll see. And Pirates 2 Armada has readily welcomed many different extremes, again, of pure band intention, as Visions of Atlantis is, as I've credited them many times at this point, such a triumphant name within the versatility respect as well of symphonic metal. A wide atmosphere that genre allows for, in particular with other types of metal influences of what Visions of Atlantis does play around with if you're not familiar. I'm setting a background for anybody that Underwater might be a first approach. And your first step into the Visions of Atlantis world as a developing sailor, as we call ourselves. And I'm still very much in that territory myself as I humor their library, beyond just the modern offerings of what's now available as of Pirates 2 Armada's debut in full yesterday. And it's an honor and a real privilege for me to take this ride with you. As I've noted many times, the collaborative respect, I love humoring music and a favorite art form of mine in this way, because I think it is best enjoyed in company, especially for atmospheric experiences that are quite reaching and touching, like Visions of Atlantis. The nature of Pirates, both this record, its sequel, and the predecessor that came before in 2022, which we also toured in full. And that's a lot of the reason we returned to that path with its sequel. It just seemed inevitable, and I'm glad I took it again, because Visions of Atlantis has always delighted one of my favorite groups to spotlight here, ever since I was first introduced a little over a year ago. And again, thanks to all of you that made them a credited name in my comment section. I truly love the fact that you made them a reference, because I have returned to this group time and time again, and Pirates 2 as an experience will be no different. Every number considered, as a holistic experience, it is just as beautiful as Pirates, an individual in its own respect. But that allure with not just the concept and the command on energy with an instrumental scoring, decision on how songs are mapped, vocal presence between Meek and Clementine, they're both extremely powerful and resonant in the symphonic sphere. And there's a beautiful presence to each one embodied, with their strengths and aptitudes individually recognized or brought together in different tracks one time or another. Well, I mean, again, as a holistic experience, it's all beautiful. Pirates 2 is just such a charming display. Every entry considered now onto the 11th out of 12. We're quickly nearing the end. And Underwater, again, I'm very curious to see where this goes. It could follow in the path of more positive, hopeful visions, as we've overcome challenges, right? The relatability of it's masked behind, but it's still clearly evident with that pirate concept. It's just naturally built, and I love that spirit, which was true to, again, the original record. But where this goes tonally, I'm curious. I'm leaning toward harsher and more tragic. I don't know. Like, it rests in the challenge and the trouble. Again, I've not read the song in detail narratively. I've not experienced the song before. Let's find out for ourselves together which direction this takes. Okay, ballad, I think.
Still I remain right below the surface.
I like the key picked for Clementine's voice to settle into. She sounds beautiful in that lower A.
Still I remain at the heart of silence, hanging in time, longing for an end.
The air at that lower pitch, too, there's so much emotion in that.
Why it feels so empty, hoping you'll come take my hand, saving me again. It's like I'm falling every day at twilight. Am I
Is that a bagpipe, too, that I'm picking up on? It's another agent that's interlacing itself into the vocals. Whatever it is, it works. And it's amplifying, again, such a beautiful sound with the key picked.
Try to scream, but who is there to listen? Lost in the deep, yearning for the sun. I have to try.
It's a song that screams for help and assistance. I love that. But still, there's a resolution that comes through because of how the verses are written here, as you see. You call out that you're alone, so you have to fight. The switch is warranted on tone. I love that they made that choice too. It's great that they repeated that line too, because again, Clementine at that A just sounds so nice. For some reason, it's that note in particular. Well, I should say it's the F, G, and A, which just really pierce me. I feel like this is a set of bagpipe cues I'm hearing. Yeah. I love how that concludes too. It's so abrupt.
It's like I'm falling every day I'm tired. And my whole lifetime's an infinite dark.
That's a great line.
Deep in the water,
It's very true for many of us.
never sees the sunlight. You're the fire that keeps me alive. You're the fire that keeps
Raps well.
me alive.
And it returns to the original introductory tone. Good choice. It's a power ballad, and this is the more deliberate pause number. I questioned that again in the last encounter we had with Magic of the Night, because it one acted, as I said, in a sort of pseudo-pause role for me, where I was expecting, just based on temptation of Underwater as a name, I'm thinking harsher. I like that it isn't that. It's a mix. It's evidently a power ballad. It starts in the softer cue, and the sentiment blended to Clementine's vocal choice, and, well, not just her choice, but the key, and the lightness of the pitch with all that air at that lower octave. There's just so much emotion packed into that scale of notes. For me, and I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one noticing this, but the connection to the lyrics and the tragedy of somebody residing in that alone state and openly acknowledging they need that hand up, but then realizing that they're surrounded, I guess, by a sea of loneliness. So they have to fight for themselves. Again, you see the marriage to the pirate's concept and how beautiful it is. It's just, superficially, you can appreciate it in that way. If you want to dig deeper, there is that natural allowance and clear, deliberate intention on part of the group. I cannot escape that experience. And it's true to what the band has declared, again, by open statements of the philosophy of Pirates and its successor record that we're looking at, because both it was true for this. It's so clear that personal connection, however voiced and however tailored. I just love the management of this record. The decision with the score to blend it between two different styles and make us believe deceitfully that it's going to rest in that ballad tone, which is fine. And it blends well in parallel structure to the original record, as Heal the Scars, as well the 11th piece, also kept the score repressed. Wasn't too forceful, wasn't too harsh. Actually, it wasn't at all. It was basically like a piano ballad with some of her agents interwoven in, including bagpipes. I love that element. But this one tries something different. Instead, it adapts per that second chorus. I love that switch. And it's quite a climb that we get to that's unexpected. But it's a rise that I think, again, based on the line work of the verse as we evolve. No one could be hearing me, but I'm still fighting down there. I know you'll be coming here showing me you care. Again, that spirit, that desire to have somebody of support or to find that in yourself, it commands, I think, that turn, and it works for the numbers aid very well for the emotional connection. I love that field that the ballad energy is allowing. And we've seen some pretty powerful power ballads in our time together, not just from Visions of Atlantis, but some other artists within, notably, at least to my memory, the European metal fold. And I'm more of, admittedly, as I've said before on many occasions, a heavy metal type guy. I love an aggressive voice, and Visions of Atlantis does readily appeal to that. But there is a deliberate methodology in any number we approach from this group. There's a clear script in mind and a design work that the band rests in and takes comfort in as well with the establishment of their voice. Underwater deserves that ballad treatment, and it powerfully resides in that. It doesn't just reside. It commands adoration as a number because of its emotional pull, blended to not just the vocal process of listening to Clementine, especially at that lower melodic range. I love those notes. And the way she sings those lines paired to the lyrics and blended with the score adaptation. A great molding here that builds towards our end crescendo piece of the record. I would believe, with, and again, we don't know where that's going to go on tone necessarily. It could follow right in line or switch things up. And it's another one of those epic symphonic metal numbers, at least just judging by the duration, where the sky and ocean blend. You know, typical, actually, well, I'll save that comment for later so we can keep in mind with underwater and recognition. What are your thoughts on that one? I'd love to hear it down below. And what language do you prefer in terms of, not necessarily, again, for the spirit of ranking things, I'm just curious, out of the songs we have on Pirates II Armada, this is much more so a collection of assertive, aggressive numbers. But there's a versatility on tone, again, that symphonic metal really allows for. But I would ask which of the pieces so far that we've entertained pierce you the most? Because I know for many of you it might be an argument of it's the ballad pieces that carry with it the stronger emotional resonance because I think of the softened edge. But I can speak to the credit as well of harder numbers blending the same respect, like Hellfire and Collide, namely. Those ones really, and Monsters too. But, you know, we all approach music differently. So I'd be curious to hear which pieces stand out to you the most in terms of thematic resonance and emotional pull. Because power ballads really do a lot in terms of that intentionally repressed tone. But they're still such atmospheric experiences. Visions of Atlantis is always rewarding. And however you approach, again, I want you to feel welcome, whether you're a longtime fan or an initiate developing sailor. What do you think about this? And will your adventures continue alongside, maybe just for yourself, but alongside me for the finale of the record? We've gone this far. We have to end it. Although it's bittersweet because another chapter ends, I'm sure, very well. We'll see, of course, in full with where the sky and ocean blend, but I'm excited. Promise nearly fulfilled to all of you, right? Pirates won. We took the full tour. Why wouldn't we do that for the sequel? And so far it has lived and surpassed in many ways, or lived up to and surpassed my expectations. As Visions of Atlantis always proves their worth, delightfully so. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.